The sudden sound from outside jostles you from your sleep. It was concerningly loud, and your obvious reaction to it is to leap from your bed and run down the hall to the main lobby. When you enter, Walter is simply drying his glass again, and Faye was lounging in one of the ornate Victorian chairs by the fireplace, reading a magazine. She only looks up when you speak, out of breath. "Hello there, kid." She calls you kid again, but you're sure you aren't one. You and Faye look to be around the same age. It was just Nikki doing something outside." She didn't show any sense of concern, simply replying as she read through the glossy pages of her magazine, passively waving her hand to dismiss you. Walter has yet to look up from his glass. So you take it upon yourself to rush out the door outside into the stretch of endless sand. You notice a little black shape against the golden backdrop. The large black cat, Shade, is seated with his back to you. You follow the direction of his amber gaze to see Nicole out in the sands, definitely farther than 20 feet away. You don't know what she's doing. Her back is to you, and she seems to be looking slowly around her at the ground. Upon further inspection, you notice she has a broomstick floating around her. You're about to call out to her before the sharp gaze of Shade yanks towards you, silencing your words before you can even speak them. That cat freaks me out. There was another sound, and now you can see it was Nicole who, magically swung her broomstick into the sand with an explosion of blue energy, sending sand and random items flying in a few directions. What is she doing? Ask her what she's doing. Right, the cat. I suppose you do the only thing you can and continue to watch before... Oh, shit. You see a massive, worm bust out of the sand. It towers over Nicole, roaring from a mouth that appeared to be both full of teeth, yet an endless void of black. The, for lack of a better term, skin of the creature was difficult to explain, like your eyes couldn't discern what they were looking at. "There you are, big fella." She was looking for that thing? I mean, Nicole stands firm, and her black cat didn't so much as flinch when the thing appeared. You expect her to start an all-out brawl with the creature, but instead, she draws its attention with her broomstick, her hand waving like a puppet master to distract the thing, like bait on a hook. That woman's crazy. But before you know it, the broom whipped around and shot off further away from the inn, drawing the worm after it. Phew. Oh, hey there. Nicole pauses as she remembers that she doesn't know what to call you. We're gonna have to give you a nickname or something. And I know Faye calls you Kid, but she does that because she's convinced that she is older than everyone else here. It's okay. We'll figure out something to call you and your narrator, I suppose. Narrator is fine. And when you relay the message, she chuckles in reply. Well, that's one down. Oh, goody. Now ask her what the hell that thing was. What, that? Oh, that was a dune worm. Sometimes they wander too close to the inn, and I have to direct them away, she said all too casually. All is fine now. Let's get you some breakfast. You both walk inside and close the door. Faye is still reading her magazine. The reading material was a little strange against the backdrop of vintage Victorian-era furniture. Now that you think about it, for some reason, you couldn't pinpoint the time period you were in. Walter looked like a handsome, middle-aged, dark-skinned bartender plucked right from the 1950s, with his white button-up and clean-pressed waistcoat and tie. Faye was dressed in the lazy, casual clothes of a teenager from the 2010s. She was even chewing gum as she read her magazine, while Nicole was dressed more similarly to Walter, in a nice fitted vest and dress clothes, though she held the air of being from a much earlier time, and was so obviously an actual witch that no one had to actually say it. As for your own clothes, well, you couldn't remember where yours were from, but how did you know the origin of everyone else's? Get us some pancakes, would you, Walter? Nicole asked the man who simply turned to the kitchen behind him. As he left, your question drew Nicole to turn her sweet, freckled face back toward you. You see, I sort of mentioned this before. Time isn't really a thing here. It is both no time at all as well as every time at once. All of us are from a different place, but it's hard to pinpoint exactly what one if you don't know. Well, that wasn't helpful. Sorry, I wish I could be more helpful in figuring out your situation. I'm sure that just opens up more questions for you. It doesn't take Walter too long to walk back in with 2 warm plates of fresh pancakes topped with fruit and cream. As the plates are set down onto the bar, a door opened at the same time. It wasn't rushed or hurried. It simply opened with a gentle squeak of wood. At the door was a rather distinguished man, black hair leading down to sideburns and a neat beard. His vest had a busy floral design, with the chain of a pocket watch which led down to his pants pocket. He sported a monocle as well, the lens resting in front of one of his dark eyes. Alphonse! Guess his name is Alphonse. With Nicole's happy greeting, you don't feel the need to be concerned about him, but that leaves space for you to be curious about him instead.
Greetings, Nicole, Walter, and, Faye. I see you're still alive.
He said to the room with the voice of a learned man. Faye lifted a hand, but not her eyes from her magazine, the mentioned hand having only the middle finger raised. I sure am, Mr. Mangy. Alphonse seemed to wince at the nickname from Faye, while Nicole sighs with a small shake of her head. I wonder what she means by mangy. Sorry about that, Alphonse. How was your trip? Get all the information you were after?
For the most part, yes, I did. It was a successful enough journey.
Alphonse's dark eyes finally seemed to realize there was someone in the room he didn't recognize. Or perhaps he just now took the time to address you. Either way, he gives you a smile and places his hand at his midsection with a slight bow and a rather formal greeting. For some reason, you just now realized that the door he entered from was not the main entrance. And as the door closed behind him, you see the stairs leading downward. The basement. He came out of the basement. Does he live down there? Your befuddlement left you silent as Alphonse speaks his greeting.
Apologies for my rudeness. Hello, I am Alphonse. It is my pleasure to meet you. I see you have a visitor, Nicole. Would you care to introduce us?
Well, I'd love to, but, I kind of can't. They kinda don't remember who they are. Nicole spoke rather ineloquently, Alphonse giving a rather confused look to the both of you. But before you could speak up, Faye's voice rose up from nearby again. We found them lying out in the sand with their head busted in. The only thing we know about them is they have this crazy voice that talks to them that only they can hear. They say it sounds like Katherine Heigl.
Katherine Heigl? Like hit actress that played Isabel Evans on the WB television series Roswell. for which he received nominations for a Saturn and even Teen Choice Awards.
That's the one.
I would say I'm surprised, but it's not the craziest thing that's happened around here. Remember the fingers?
Nicole seems to shiver at the mention of the fingers. I really don't like when they mention them either. Ugh, don't remind me. I also do not wish to be reminded.
Sorry, my dear. I just wanted to take a little break, so I thought I would stop by for a while.
Stop by? People can just come and go? Ask them about that. Go, now, before the conversation continues on. What? Whoa, not so fast. Repeat that? She says as you stumble over your words like a babbling idiot. Oh, I see. So narrator was rushing you. I'm the one that has to communicate in way of empty vassal McGee here.
I'm sorry? A narrator?
Oh, that's what we call the voice that they hear. It seems that the voice narrates most of the time, and talks some other times.
Well, that sounds rather annoying. Interesting, but annoying.
I'm starting to take offense, a fact of which you inform them. I said a fact of which you inform them.
Oh, my apologies?
You're going to apologize to a disembodied voice that you can't even hear. Kid's probably just crazy and we just go along with it, Faye said very disrespectfully. Faye, that is not true.
Anyway, you asked me why I came out of the basement, if I understood that stumbling question. It's, better if you don't worry about the basement, for now.
What the hell does that even mean? Alphonse is right. You have other things to concern yourself with right now. Fine. You look at Alphonse, who gives you a comforting and warm smile, and instead offer a different question.
Oh, me? Well, I am an informant. I work for a few people in various locations, various times.
Times? He's very good at his job. There are few things he can't find information on. Well, that could be helpful. I wish you knew how crazy you look when you talk out loud to a voice only you can hear. Just think about it. How could it be helpful? The narrator said, patronizingly. There you go. As realization hits you, your expression turns agape with a soundless gasp before requesting Alphonse for his services.
My services? I am so sorry, my new friends, but I'm afraid you cannot afford my services.
Ouch. Oh, not like that. Well, sorta like that. You see, Alphonse deals in information. You don't have anything to offer him in exchange. You know, because your head is all empty and stuff. Dang, a twofer. Faye barked a sharp, rude laugh from her chair nearby.
Listen, I'll tell you what. You seem like a nice person. Down on your luck, perhaps. I'll keep my ears open. Ask around here and there with your physical description. But don't get your hopes up. The universe is, well, a lot to search through.
Better than nothing. Thanks, Alphonse. That's a nice start. If nothing else, we can start to narrow it down a little. Yes. Let's narrow down the universe.
Can't say it'll help too much, but my own curiosity is enough to sniff around.
You would be sniffing around. Faye, shut the hell up. No thanks, Faye says as she continues to mindlessly flick through the glossy pages of her reading material. You pause in thought for a moment before offering a question to the man.
Ah, yes. You see, traveling space is easy. Not many can travel time, however. At least not safely. Depending on who you are, if you end up in a time that is not your own, you will start to unravel as the universe attempts to fix what has been wronged.
You'll end up no different than the memory fragments. You really don't want that. Oh, hey, don't worry about that. Oh, look, pancakes, come on. You... Nicole says awkwardly, still not knowing what to call you as she tries to derail the conversation. Would you like some, Al?
Oh, no. I just needed a break in a place where it didn't matter if I overslept. Actually, I was hoping to trouble you for a room.
Oh, yeah, right, of course. Go for it. We'll be around.
Thank you very much. Now, I'm off to pass the hell out. I'll see you all some unimportant amount of time later from now. Farewell, ladies, gentlemen.
The stranger turned new friend speaks his outro with a refinement unique to him with another light bow before he turns and heads towards the bedrooms. Nicole tries to gather your attention so you can both eat, but as you turn back to the bar, it seems that Faye had finally wandered from her chair and was now snacking on your breakfast. Faye, what the hell? What? Neither of you touched them. I thought you forgot. I just mentioned them! I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't hear anything. The two of them argued, which seemed to be the usual for them, before Walter walked back in with more breakfast, wordless as usual, a silent peacekeeper. This knock comes from the main door, and Nicole gets up to walk over and opens it casually, but you feel concerned and tense up. Oh, hey, there you are! She greets her broomstick at the door, the thing just hovering. Did the broomstick just knock at the door?